Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money.
Hello guys, and girls of course, welcome to Ignition Wrestling. I am your host, the Gavmeister, and welcome to my WWE Money in the Bank preview / predictions video. Okay, let me start off by saying I think the build to this pay-per-view's been pretty good. Maybe the best of the year so far, aside from WrestleMania of course. But WrestleMania ended up being a bit of a letdown, to be honest, and I actually expect this pay-per-view to be better than WrestleMania, actually. I'm looking forward to some of the matches. Most of them seem pretty good. So yeah, so let's just dive right in, shall we? The show is gonna, I'm pretty sure this is the what's it called? The preview show, the Money in the Bank preview show, the kickoff show. Is going to be The Shield, which will be Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, the WWE Tag Team Champions, versus the number one contenders, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos. Let me start off by saying all the internet is up in arms, saying, "Oh, it's a disgrace. The Shield are on the pre-show. They've been in the main event. They should be on the main card. Blah blah blah." I'm gonna say, guys, I agree with you. They should be on the main card. But it's not a tragedy that they're not. I mean, come on, they are mid-carders at the end of the day at the moment. They're not main eventers at the moment. And the tag team titles are quite often on the pre-show. So I don't actually have a huge problem with this, to be honest. I agree they should be, guys. Don't go all berserk over this. But I agree they should be on the main card, but they're not. And they are only facing the Usos. So, yeah, I think you guys should, not overreact as much as you have been. Because you sound a bit stupid, to be honest. But I do understand where you're coming from. This should be on the main card. But as for my thoughts, the match has been built up pretty well. The Usos have got a few wins and got a bit of momentum going. You actually feel like they stand a chance. To the casual audience. Me personally, I don't think they're going to win. This looks like an easy Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins victory to me. I fully expect them to win, to retain the tag team titles, as they should. Keep their strong momentum going, keep the Shield looking strong, and keep them as a dominant force at the moment, unless they're going to break them up somehow. They could go with this weird angle where the Shield lose the titles, and then Ambrose wins the Money in the Bank, and he starts getting all cocky, thinking he's the best member of the Shield, blah, 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 which leads to a breakup. I don't think that will happen, but it is a possibility. I mean, I could see it happening. I just don't think it will. But yeah, a Shield victory for me, and keep them looking strong. Okay, I don't know the order of the matches or what they're going to be on the card, but I'm going to say that the first match, this isn't my guess at what the first match is. This is just the order I'm going to go through it in. I'm going to go with The Miz versus Curtis Axel for the Intercontinental Championship, with Curtis Axel being the champion. This obviously stems from Curtis Axel sneaking a win on Wade Barrett while The Miz had him in the figure 4 leg lock at the last pay-per-view Payback, and Curtis Axel winning the title. The build's been not bad. I mean, they've had The Miz sort of getting in Curtis Axel's head a bit, costing him a few victories, and making Curtis Axel look a little bit vulnerable. Curtis Axel's sort of having a few temper tantrums at the moment when he's losing matches, getting a bit frustrated, getting angry, which I like. They're showing a bit of character to this Curtis Axel guy, and a bit of development. He's not just a simple, boring, I lost, I'll go to the back now, come back next week and I'll win. He's actually showing frustration. He cares that he's losing. And, I like this. It's showing depth to the character, and hopefully long may it continue, because he can become quite an interesting character. He's still rusty in some areas, but I like Curtis Axel. Anyway, I fully expect Curtis Axel to win and retain his Intercontinental Championship. Maybe a sneak win with Heyman helping him win. Maybe a clean victory. Who knows? As long as he gets the win here, it doesn't really matter. Keep Curtis Axel's momentum going as Intercontinental Champion, and hopefully he stays champion for about 6 months to a year, and really build him up strongly before he gets a main event push in about 2 or 3 years' time. But yeah, hopefully Curtis Axel wins. I think he will win, and the match has had pretty good build. So yeah, I'm half looking forward to this. Match 3, I'm going to do as the WWE Divas Championship between Kaitlyn and AJ Lee. The build for this has been really, really good, to be honest. They had their own contract signing on SmackDown, which, you know, is the first time ever for a Divas Championship match. AJ's really been in Kaitlyn's head. Kaitlyn's got the upper hand, you know, she's been getting angry. She's hit loads of spears on AJ. They've just been really at each other's throats, you know. Very intense rivalry. It's been really, really good. The build's been good. The last match was very, very good. It was the best Divas match I'd seen in about a year or so. It was all good. I've got nothing but good things to say about this rivalry. I'm not a huge fan of AJ on the mic, but she seems to be getting better. I like Kaitlyn. She's not amazing, but I do like her. And she's been just as good in this feud as AJ has. I've very much enjoyed this. I predict another similar match as to last time. I predict an AJ Lee win. The only possible scenario I can see Kaitlyn winning is if they if Kaitlyn pins AJ, and AJ gets all mad at Dolph Ziggler saying, "Why weren't you out there for my match supporting me?" Blah blah blah, and her and Big E Langston end up costing Ziggler the World Heavyweight title. They may go down that road, which is very, very possible in my opinion. I still predict an AJ Lee win, but I wouldn't necessarily be too surprised if they did do that scenario that I just said. Moving on to the fourth match of this card, and in my opinion the most insignificant. This should be the pre-show match in my opinion, but whatevs, as Dolph Ziggler would say. It is Chris Jericho versus Ryback. The build for this match has been absolutely horrible, to be quite honest. It seems a match thrown together at the last minute about 2 weeks ago in order to get Ryback out of his losing streak, I suppose. I hear that Chris Jericho is going on tour with Fozzy very, very soon, so it's probably going to be after this pay-per-view. So I can only really see a Ryback win here. They've been playing up this angle where Ryback's not so much an unstoppable monster anymore, and he's got a bad leg. He gave up that match against The Miz and is kind of looking weak, and they're playing up how Jericho's going to exploit that and how Jericho's going to win the match, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, I can see nothing but a win for Ryback here. God knows he desperately needs it. He's not won since last year at Money in the Bank, and he really, really needs his pay-per-view win. And I fully expect him to get hit right here in an average match, but hopefully Jericho can pull Ryback to a half-decent one. Okay, now it starts to get interesting. We have the World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio versus the number one contender Dolph Ziggler. Their last match at Payback was really, really good. I was really, really shocked they took the title off Ziggler. He deserves better than that. He deserves a decent reign, 4 or 5 month reign in my opinion, and they took it off him, which I wasn't too bothered about because it seems like they're doing something with Dolph Ziggler, turning him into a face. And although at the moment he's stuck in this like weird tweener territory where people don't know whether to cheer or to boo him, they're gonna try and push him as a face, I reckon. So that can only be good things for Dolph Ziggler. As far as the match goes, they could possibly do that scenario I mentioned earlier with AJ Lee and Big E Langston costing Dolph Ziggler the match. One thing that has to be said is Dolph Ziggler has got the best of Alberto Del Rio ever since Payback every single night. He's been hitting his finisher on him about 5 times. He keeps getting the upper hand in the brawls they have, and this to me means Dolph Ziggler basically isn't winning the match. I want him to win the match because I think Alberto Del Rio is boring as hell. I don't think he's got any charisma, and I think he sucks the life out of any feud. And I fully believe that Dolph Ziggler would be a better guy to carry the World Heavyweight Championship, and I fully believe he deserves it as well. I don't know how it's going to finish, but I can't see Dolph losing clean this time. I just expect some sort of maybe DQ win for Dolph Ziggler, and Alberto holds the title. Maybe Alberto cheats to win. I don't know, but I just really don't see Dolph Ziggler winning this one, guys. So yeah, an Alberto Del Rio win. The the build hasn't been great to this match, but it's been okay. I don't care too much about it, but the fact that Dolph Ziggler's in it enough, the fact that Dolph Ziggler's in it makes me care enough to pay attention to this match and cross my fingers for a Dolph win. Here we go. They're getting bigger and bigger. The WWE title match. The champion, John Cena versus the challenger, Mark Henry. This feud started back when Mark Henry cut that awesome retirement promo and ends up hitting the world's strongest slam on John Cena, where he happened to fool everybody in the arena, everyone in the IWC. I sort of saw it coming. I wasn't entirely shocked. I was just like, why is Cena hanging around here? It just feels a bit weird. It just feels like something's going to happen, but take nothing away from Mark Henry's performance. Sensational, and he's also had a few really great promos since then. John Cena's been doing his usual stick, coming out, the champ is here, they're making him look vulnerable. He couldn't pick Mark Henry up for the AA, and Mark Henry squashed him. They're making Mark Henry seem like a real threat. So when John Cena hits that AA and pins Mark Henry, they're like, oh my god, the AA on Mark Henry, and it's going to be shit. But, maybe WWE will have a huge swerve and have Mark Henry win the WWE title. He really deserves it. I would love to see Mark Henry carry that title, because the build's been good. Mark Henry feels like a threat. He should be a threat, and I feel he should have a run as WWE champion. I don't think he will. Cena's going to overcome the odds. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I expect Cena to win this match and to stay on as WWE champion for the foreseeable future at the moment. Okay, now we come to the hardest match of the night for me to be able to predict. The World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank contract match featuring Damien Sandow, Cody Rhodes, Jack Swagger, Antonio Cesaro, Fandango, Wade Barrett, and Dean Ambrose. I'm just going to go through these quickly one by one, and I still just can't quite 100% guess the outcome of this match. Let's go through them. Jack Swagger is definitely not winning this match, so I've not got a lot to say about him. But let's move on to Antonio Cesaro. Ordinarily, he would be my favourite, but now that he's in a tag team with Jack Swagger, and they're called the All-Americans, I just can't see him winning this match now. I think they're going to go on to maybe form, because they are a tag team now, I think they're going to go on to be maybe challenged for the tag team titles, or, challenge. I don't know. I just think they're going to be a tag team, and they're going to be stuck in this tag team for a few months, to be honest. 6 months, I reckon. And I reckon, just like the Rhodes Scholars, I think they're going to be in that tag team for a while, and I don't think either of them are going to win the Money in the Bank. I think Antonio Cesaro has a slight chance. He just wouldn't be one of my picks for this match. So probably not, but you never know. Moving on, Fandango, who's actually had quite a bit of build. He's won a few matches recently. He's being billed as the underdog, and no one expects him to win, but WWE are high on him. He beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. You just never know. He beat Wade Barrett on Raw. He beat he beat Wade Barrett on SmackDown. He beat someone else on Raw a few weeks ago. He's won about 3 matches in a row now. He's got a bit of momentum, so you just never know. Like Cesaro, I really wouldn't pick him as my win, but you just never know. Again, I would not be entirely surprised if he did win. This brings me to Dean Ambrose. A lot of people's favourites in the IWC. He's not my favourite, but I can certainly see why people have him as favourite. He has the most momentum. He's had a lot of main event wins in the last couple of months in tag team matches. He's being pushed highly at the moment, but it's very rarely that someone who has all the momentum usually wins the Money in the Bank from a ladder match. I can certainly see why people have him as his favourite, and he's in a good position to win it. But in my opinion, he's only been in the company, like in the main event roster, for about 8 months now, or whatever it is. I don't think he's ready yet, even though he is hugely talented. He's very entertaining. But for me, he's not been on the roster long enough yet. He wouldn't be my pick. I don't think he's going to win. but I can certainly see him winning. If WWE have him win, I can certainly see why, and I wouldn't complain about it. He just wouldn't be my choice of who deserves it, and I don't think he should win. Although, if he did, you can't complain. This brings us to Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow. Let's start off with Cody Rhodes. He is my favourite participant in the match. I think he's the most talented as a second generation superstar. He's good in the ring, he's good on the mic, he makes any gimmick he has work really, really well. The thing is, they're in the midst of this breakup at the moment, the Rhodes Scholars, and if either of these guys were to win this match, it's going to happen something like this with, let's say, Cody Rhodes is climbing the ladder. Damien Sandow pushes him off, betrays him, climbs the ladder and wins the briefcase. It ends up splitting up, they have a small feud, and Damien Sandow moves into the main event. And that seems entirely possible because Damien Sandow has been feuding with Sheamus at the moment, and he's been having a little miniature feud. He lost the feud, but he is being featured in some spots at the moment, whereas Cody Rhodes has just been jobbed out a little bit. Now, the other way they could do it is Damien Sandow getting angry with Cody and saying, look, you stay there while I climb this ladder and win this match. Cody seems all, he's all in two minds. He lets Damien Sandow climb the ladder. Suddenly Cody goes, nah, pushes Damien Sandow off the ladder, climbs up himself and goes up to win and get the briefcase. You could sort of do it like that as well. I don't think Cody Rhodes will win, although he should win in my opinion. You can always have him win and suddenly give him some momentum from here on out and don't job him out so much. So you could quite do that easily with Cody Rhodes and then have to split up with Rhodes Scholars. You could also do the same thing with Damien Sandow. You could have him win the match, have a feud with Cody Rhodes, have him go over and carry on with the briefcase. I personally think Sandow needs about another year and a half before he becomes World Heavyweight Champion. He could maybe win it next year. I don't think he quite deserves it this year, but the Money in the Bank betting odds on Paddy Power and Sky Bet actually have Damien Sandow as favourite to win this match. I don't know why. Maybe they have some insider information. Who knows? But he's favourite and there must be a reason why. Maybe they have some insider information. I don't know, but he apparently is favourite to win the match. I don't think he will, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if he did win. And I wouldn't be surprised if Cody would win. But I'd be a little less surprised if Sandow won. I'd be more surprised if Cody won, even though I like him better. But yeah, moving on to my pick for this match, Wade Barrett. Now let me tell you one thing, guys. Whenever someone said in the past couple of years Wade Barrett would win this match, I used to laugh in their face because I knew he wasn't winning Money in the Bank. I knew he wasn't ready, even though the whole internet said, oh wow, he was scheduled to win and feud with CM Punk, blah blah blah. No, he wasn't. He was never going to win. He was never going to feud with Punk because he wasn't ready then, and he's not ready now. But I can see him winning this match, and here's my reasons why. He's not in a feud at the moment, so you can have him win it and go in any direction. Whereas all the other guys seem to be in mini feuds with each other, like the Rhodes Scholars and the All Americans are in a tag team, and Ambrose is still in the Shield, and Fandango is not in a feud, but yeah, he's not been in the WWE long. So, and Wade Barrett it just feels to me like it's his time. I can't really explain why. I just think they're going to pull this out of the blue and have him win, despite him being jobbed out continuously for the last 2 years, I suppose. It just feels to me like it's Wade Barrett's time. So yeah, for me, Wade Barrett's going to win this match. I don't think he should, because I think he's absolutely awful in the ring and he's completely boring. On the mic, he's good. His delivery is good. It's just his content's always boring. So yeah, I'm not a huge Barrett fan, but I can certainly see why people are fans. He's just not really my cup of tea. But yeah, for me, who should win? Cody Rhodes. Who will win? Probably Barrett or Damien Sandow. But yeah, those are my picks. Finally, this brings us to the WWE Money in the Bank contract match featuring Rob Van Dam Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Christian, Sheamus, and who's the other? CM Punk. Kane was taken out of this match through injury through Bray Wyatt. They might have a replacement for him, they might not. I'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go through them one by one. Christian's not winning this, guys. Call me crazy, but he stands absolutely no chance whatsoever in my opinion and will not win this match. If he does, I will apologise to everyone because I am absolutely sure he won't. But yeah, he's had no build, he keeps being jobbed out. He's not going to win this match, guys. I know other Money in the Bank winners get jobbed out, but Christian's not winning this. I'm almost certain of it. The same thing goes for CM Punk. He's won a few matches recently. He's had a little bit of time off, but he's still in this feud with like Paul Heyman, Curtis Axel, and Brock Lesnar, who he's probably going to be facing at SummerSlam. He could win it and carry the briefcase while he's facing Brock. I just don't see it. Punk will probably eliminate from this match, and he's probably not going to win, guys. Quite an obvious choice to not winning. Kane's obviously been removed from the match. Sheamus is not going to win this match either, guys. He's in it for the star power, to make up the numbers, for being a big guy, for the powerhouse spots. He's a big guy. He can pull off some big power moves. He's not going to win this match. Although he's not in a feud at the moment, he's just sort of hanging around and not doing much. I just can't see the point in giving it to him at this point in time. He's a really big enough guy to get a title shot without the Money in the Bank. So for me, he's not going to win it. So moving on, Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam's not going to win either, guys. They're not going to give him the WWE title contract and WWE title as soon as he comes back. It's just not going to happen. He's there for the star power. People are going to pop like mad when he goes for that briefcase. He's going to get his hands on it, but someone's going to shove him off the ladder. He's not going to win the match. He's there to excite, to do some big spots, and for the big pops, and for the pay-per-view buys. He's not going to win the actual match, guys. Let's be serious. Okay, I believe the person who's going to be replacing Kane in the match is going to be the Big Show. I reckon he's going to appear on the night and be inserted into the match. And that's how I think it's going to go. Maybe he intimidates Brad Maddox into putting him in the match or something along those lines. That's what I believe is going to happen. The only other person to sort of get in the match, well, one of two people, is maybe Ryback gets put in after he beats Jericho. I could see that happening. And the only other option is Bray Wyatt being inserted into the match. If he intimidates Brad Maddox and somehow gets put in. If the Big Show gets put in, he's not going to win, guys. There's not a lot to say about that. He's just simply not winning. If Ryback gets put in the match, it's possible I could see him winning. He wouldn't be my pick, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did win, if he was inserted in the match. So you never know. Bray Wyatt, if he gets put in the match, he probably won't win. But if he did win, I would mark like fuck, because it would mean that they're pushing this guy to the moon. It's not going to happen, I don't think. I don't think he's going to get put in the match, but if he did, I'd be really excited at what's going to happen. But yeah, here become my two picks for the match. Number one, Daniel Bryan was my pick. If you checked out my other video last week or earlier on in the week, he's got the most momentum. He's won the most matches. It feels like his time. He needs to win because he needs to be pushed into that Money in the Bank. The WWE title picture via Money in the Bank, in my opinion. And this is the way to do it, in my opinion. It feels like he's in the right place at the right time to win this match. But now, I just get this instinct that it might be Randy Orton's time to win this match. He doesn't need it. He can get a title shot without it. But it just feels like they're doing something with Randy Orton. Maybe turning him heel, maybe not. He's having this feud with Bryan, and I don't know. It just, for me, it's either him or Daniel Bryan. Either one are strong favourites to win this match, but I just feel Randy Orton might win it now. I don't know why, but you never know. I mean, I don't want him to. I'd rather Daniel Bryan win, but you never know, guys. But yeah, just about Randy Orton over Daniel Bryan for me. Although it was Daniel Bryan last week, but we'll see, guys. Anyway, those are my predictions for this pay-per-view. I think it's going to be off the hook. I think it's going to be entertaining. It's got about 6 good matches on this card. I'm looking forward to nearly all of them. So, yeah, hopefully this pay-per-view is going to be really, really good and throws up some surprises. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on the pay-per-view. Welcome. Thanks for listening to Ignition Wrestling. Well, thanks for coming to Ignition Wrestling and listening to me, your host, the Gavmeister. Sorry, I'm babbling a bit crap at the moment and getting my words muddled up, but I'm really, really tired, having a long week after some bad family problems. So, yeah, I'm sure you can forgive me for that, guys. Have a good day. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.